759th Bombardment Squadron. The 759th Bombardment Squadron is an inactive United States Air Force unit. The squadron was organized in July 1943 as a Consolidated B-24 Liberator unit. After training in the United States, it moved to Italy, where it engaged in the strategic bombing campaign against the Axis, earning a Distinguished Unit Citation for an attack on an aircraft factory in Austria. It was inactivated after returning to the United States. The squadron was activated in the reserve at Davis-Monthan Field, Arizona in 1947, although it is not clear if it was equipped before 1949. At that time, it became a corollary of the 43 Bombardment Group, a strategic air command unit flying Boeing B-29 Superfortresses. It was mobilized for the Korean War in May 1951. After its personnel were transferred to other units, it was inactivated on 16 June 1951. History. World War II, Min II. The squadron was first activated on 1 July 1943 at Alamogordo Army Airfield, New Mexico, as the 759th Bombardment Squadron, one of the four original squadrons of the 459th Bombardment Group. The squadron trained with Consolidated B-24 Liberators under 2nd Air Force until October, when it moved to Westover Field, Massachusetts. The squadron flew long-range convoy escort missions over area between the Newfoundland Banks and Long Island Sound in November and December 1943 while Julia Airfield, its station in Italy, was being constructed. In January 1944, the squadron began its overseas movement. The squadron arrived in Italy in February 1944 and began flying combat missions in March. The squadron engaged in very long-range strategic bombing missions to enemy military, industrial, and transportation targets in Italy, France, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Romania, and Yugoslavia, bombing railroad marshalling yards, oil refineries, airfields, heavy industry, and other strategic objectives. In April 1944, the 459th Group led the 304th Bombardment Wing in an attack on an airfield and aircraft factory at Bad Voslau, Austria, through heavy flak and fighter attacks. The squadron was awarded a Distinguished Unit Citation for this action. In addition to strategic missions, the squadron also carried out support and interdiction operations. In March 1944, the squadron attacked railroads used to supply enemy forces surrounding the Anzio beachhead. In August, it struck bridges, harbors, and troop concentrations to aid Operation Dragoon, the invasion of southern France. It also hit communications lines and other targets during March and April 1945 to support the advance of British 8th Army and American 5th Army in northern Italy. The squadron returned to the United States in August 1945, being programmed for deployment to the Pacific Theater as a Boeing B-29 Superfortress Very Heavy Bombardment Squadron. A cotter reformed at Sioux Falls Army Airfield, South Dakota in the middle of the month. The Japanese surrender in August led to the inactivation of unit on 28 August. Reserve operations. Lineage. Constituted as the 759 Bombardment Squadron Heavy on 19 May 1943, activated on 1 July 1943, redesignated 759 Bombardment Squad. Heavy on 29 September 1944, inactivated on 28 August 1945, redesignated 759 Bombardment. Redesignated 759 Bombardment Squadron, medium on 26 June 1949, ordered to active service on 1 May 1951, inactivated on 16 June 1951. Assignments: 459th Bombardment Group, 1 July 1943 – 28 August 1945, 459th Bombardment Group, 19 April 1947 – 16 June 1951, Stations. Aircraft. B-24 Liberator, 1943-1945. Awards and campaigns.